and welcome to Wednesday Night Undressed. I am Lewis Walton, your host, and I am joined this evening by a interesting group of people. We have Fernando, Cassidy,
Hi.
Ivo,
Hello.
Alex,
Hey.
Sofia, and Julian.
Hi.
How is everybody doing tonight?
Fantabulous.
I'm
thank you.
copied. I've been copied by all of the people at this table. I just want to say.
Yeah.
How have you been copied?
I started the hi after saying the name, and now everybody does it.
You
I'm
did
just saying.
not.
I'm a trendsetter, y'all. I'm
you
a
did not.
trendsetter, okay?
So, Ivo, are you finding it as amusing as I am that after 8 years of doing this show, we are now copying Cassidy?
Yeah, we're copying me because I am the best person in this whole entire world, so they all are following my footsteps.
It makes sense. It makes sense. She's got a lot of positive energy, and she's got a lot of insight to many, many things. She's interesting, exotic. Her hair is amazing. And so
What hair?
it makes
Shut
sense
up.
that we're trying to copycat her. you know?
Exactly.
We
All right.
want to be her.
All right, so I'm going to have to stop you because even though Meredith is not here this week, when you compliment Cassidy, you're like by proxy complimenting Meredith, and like I won't hear the
That is
end.
danger. Yeah, we don't want to do that.
Are you saying I'm not my own person?
Yeah.
No. I'm just saying your mom's going to take credit for it.
Louis, good news is we are not going to post this podcast, so she will never hear it.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. All right. Okay, let's get started. First question. Do you have a song you love obsessively but are ashamed to tell your friends?
God, everybody's got that.
All right, Julie, we'll start with you.
Okay. Mine's a bit odd because I don't care if my friends know what my music taste is, but it's a song that I wouldn't specifically mention. It's Tears for Fears.
Shout.
It's one of those. I thought that was the song name for the longest time, but it's the Everybody Wants to Rule the World one.
Oh, I know that
That is
song.
my absolute favorite song right now, and it's so good.
How the heck did you hear that song?
Okay, here I'll tell
It's
I'll tell you
trending.
exactly how I heard it. All right. You gotta promise not to judge me. I'm looking at you specifically.
Okay.
And you. I care
Okay.
about what you two think about me, and maybe you. But so there's this funny little Netflix show called Breaking Bad, and people edit it into that show
That's right.
so much.
the
People will
best
make
show
edits
ever.
of the characters before the story and then after it, and put that song over it. And I was like, golly gee willikers, this is sure is a lovely song. I'm gonna listen to it.
So I just need to interrupt. Have you ever once legitimately in your life said golly gee willikers?
Yes, I say it quite frequently.
Okay, all right.
G. Willikers.
By
Jules,
goodness,
how deep are you into that show?
I love it.
But
I
have you
finished.
finished it?
Okay. I'm not gonna finish it, but that's because I don't finish shows. But I am about to finish it
Gotta finish.
because
So-
I don't end shows because I refuse to.
So
But then you
I
can do Better Call Saul after.
That's what I'm doing.
so I gotta say
You know, that guy died at the end of the last episode.
Which one?
I'm not gonna.
Many-
you know,
almost
spoil
every-
it.
I'm,
It's
I'm
just
aware
one
of
of
that
the main
fact.
guys.
So-
I know.
Is it
every-
Walter White?
Go ahead, Ivo.
yeah. So I just want to say that when my son was about your age, or maybe actually a couple of years younger, he was obsessed with Breaking Bad, and one day we rented an RV. And like a 40-foot RV, not like Walter White's, but like a more modern one. And we decided to drive all the way to California. And to surprise him, because you were inside a house, basically, when you're in this RV, and you don't necessarily know what's going on outside, to surprise him, we decided to go to Albuquerque and stop right in front of Mr. White's house
Cold sack, right?
in Albuquerque. And he didn't know. And I parked the RV, and he looked out the window and lost his mind. He went, darted out of the RV, jumped up and down, went to the house, almost tried to hug
you
the
throw a
house.
pizza? Did you throw a pizza there?
No, but here's what happened. We were there, and there was right after the show had ended, it was super popular, and there was an endless line of people and cars waiting to take their picture in front of Mr. White's house. So, I'm getting ready to take a picture, and the owner of the house comes out. It was an older lady, and she is pissed. She is pissed.
Sell the house.
And And I tell her, I'm sorry, I'm trying to be as inconspicuous as possible. And she goes, what, with that thing? And she pointed at the 40-foot RV that I had parked in front of her. And she still pointed at that. And so I started talking to her, and I said, well, why don't you put like a donation box and ask for donations for it? And she goes, I wanted to do this, and I would have made probably $100,000 because there's an endless line of people trying to take their picture, but the neighborhood doesn't allow it. You have to be designated as a business. It's about the zoning, and the zoning is residential, so you can't make money off of anything. She told me that people are throwing pizzas on the top of her garage,
awesome.
and she was pissed.
I heard
Yeah.
about this girl,
Yeah.
and apparently she's
Lady.
like, I'm not gonna say it's bad or good. She doesn't like people. Like, she really doesn't like people there.
Well,
and
yeah.
I get when people are throwing pizzas on top of her house.
Yeah.
But like, if you're gonna live somewhere that arguably the best Netflix show is filmed at, you're gonna get people being like, holy golly.
I projected a very kind frequency towards her, and we actually struck some kind of friendship, weirdly, in a matter of a couple of minutes, and I was very sympathetic to her plight. So she started telling me stuff. Like, she said that her house is infinitely better than what the house looked like in the show.
You're talking about the inside?
The inside. She
Yeah.
said that she has a modern, beautiful house, open, very modern, and the house that the interior they used for the show was completely different and old-fashioned and not good. She said, my house looks much different. Then eventually she went inside, and then the garage door opened, and out came this stunning Mercedes SUV. She came out with an extremely expensive SUV, and I was like, oh man, I think she got paid pretty well. I don't know what she does for a
I
living.
think she's probably involved with like on
Yeah.
a drug business, like
Maybe it's possible.
blue.
With Emil, we were there, so we decided to go from place to place and explore the locations of the show. And we realized there's an entire cottage industry revolving around Breaking Bad in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We went to the car wash, and it's the hugest car wash I've ever seen. It's like a freaking factory. It's a giant car wash. It was closed, but the building was there, and it looked enormous. And then the biggest surprise was downtown Albuquerque. No, there was a candy store. It was called the Candy Lady. It was a lady that was making candy, but she was contracted by the show to make sugar crystals, blue, and they used those sugar crystals as the blue meth that Mr. White was making, right? So she became the supplier of these blue sugar crystals, and she became so popular because people were flocking to her candy store to buy those sugar crystals and say, this is the
It's
meth.
100%.
So she rebranded her store, renamed her store to the Bad Candy Lady, and was making crazy money, expanded. Her store became huge, expanded. It was enormous. And when we went there, she was selling the blue candy that she was making, the sugar crystals, in little baggies, like they were meth. And she was giving people Walter White hats so they can take pictures with scales in front of her store and the candy. So that was crazy story.
Let me say one more thing before we move on to somebody else.
Hold on. Before you say anything, I want to say something. We've just been joined by a fellow attorney, Mr.
I didn't
Greg
do it, I swear.
Esquire.
Howdy, y'all.
Oh, hold on. I got your mic turned down because I was waiting for you. All right, try it now.
Howdy.
Perfect. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good.
And
Pretty
Margaret.
good. Margaret, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good.
Good, good. All right, so just to let you know where we're at, I just asked the question, what is your obsession song that you're afraid to tell your friends about? And Julian started by telling us that his was Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
Gotcha.
Why is it-
And did you already start with Toxic?
I haven't gotten there yet.
Got it. Okay.
But
None of
you're-
these songs
you're-
you should be ashamed to be obsessed
No.
with.
My
They're
whole
all
thing,
good
my
songs.
whole thing is that I'm not afraid to tell it. It's just not like what comes to mind immediately. But I was gonna say that this isn't for argument, but Walter White Jr. is the best character in Breaking Bad. But that's
You are so wrong.
I think you
mean
are
Flynn?
just mad. Yeah, Flynn.
Yeah, don't call him Walt. His name is Flynn.
Flynn.
All right, who's next? Who's got us? Okay, go ahead, Sophia.
So I have many songs that I purposefully don't tell my friends about because I listen to K-pop regularly. As in, I have a 14-hour long K-pop playlist that is carefully curated to my liking.
God.
So you get when you tell people that you listen to K-pop, you get some reactions because there's there. I get it. I get it. There are some K-pop stans who are a little scary. So I try not to tell my friends that. I try not to start any conversation with, "Hey, I listen to K-pop." That's usually the last thing I tell someone. Yeah. Anyways, but even with friends I have that do listen to K-pop, one of my favorite songs recently is an old Shiny song called Sherlock, which became a meme in the community. And it's just people don't listen to it seriously anymore, but I listen to it seriously. I listen to it like my life depends on it. I think I listened to that song 30 times in one day when I was flying. I was on a plane because I just kept it on repeat. It's
There's
a really good
so
song.
many old man questions I have right now.
Okay, shoot.
You said Shiny song?
Yes.
What the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
Well, the group is named Shiny.
Ah!
It's not a song that is Shiny. It's by Shiny.
All right. I'm
No,
feeling-
Dad. If you take the music, if you take the actual sounds, you can just look at them and tell that's pretty shiny.
Okay, because immediately
shimmers.
I start thinking Firefly references. I'm like, is this song shiny? Is this or some Gorham song?
No.
Okay, gotcha. All right, and then the community. There's a K-pop community.
Have you guys ever been on Twitter in your
that a
lives?
cult? Is that a
See, she
cult?
gets it. She gets it.
Part of it's a
Is that a
cult.
cult?
Part of it's a cult.
No. Okay. Listen, I can't go into too much detail. I could talk about this for hours. On my private Twitter with 2 friends on it, I frequently get into K-pop discourse with myself.
Did you block me?
And I just because some of the takes I see, whew. Anyways, but yeah, no, there's K-pop stans are kind of known for being a much more
Scary.
obsessive.
Sorry, I got to interrupt already for the other old folks that are listening. When she says K-pop stans, translate that to K-pop fans from
Yeah,
back in
but
the
stan
80s.
is an obsessive fan, a stalker fan.
That's literally what it means.
And so, K-pop fans are they'll dox you if you don't like the same group as them.
Docs
Oh my
to
God.
Yes.
release your
Yes.
personal information so that you
Sorry.
can be attacked by other people on the internet. Keep going.
Yeah, no, because if you tell someone
I don't
if you
like this
tell
group.
a Luna, if within the K-pop community, if you are a BTS stan and you tell a Luna stan that you don't like Luna, they say, "Check this out," and then the next reply is your address.
It's
Literally.
okay,
It's
cool,
like a
but
dark web with
198.225.
One
But
time,
just
I got a
K-pop
message.
based. Okay.
Yeah.
One time, someone messaged me. I sent a message to my group chat, my private group chat with just my closest
that
friends,
K-pop stuff?
right? And I said I don't like K-pop. And the next day, I get a text message on my phone number. This group chat was on Discord, and I get a text message to my phone number. And it's this person saying, I heard that you don't like K-pop. And they found my father's address and my address.
And your car exploded in the morning.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's
And the way that they treat the idols in the K-pop industry, there's a lot of politics in the K-pop industry. I was talking
Yeah,
to
they
Jennifer.
did the Trump stuff, right? That they
Greg
wasn't
is-
the K-pop
Greg
band
is in
that
shock.
they got all the tickets and then the place was empty because
Yes,
they,
K-pop stans were the ones
That was
that were
fascinating.
behind
That
that,
wasn't,
whole.
What is that
K-pop
saying? The
band.
FBI works hard, but K-pop stands work
Yes,
harder?
literally.
Here we go.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting community. I try to stay out of it. My favorite group of all time. Every single person at this table needs to go listen to Red Velvet. They are the best group.
I've heard one of those.
Incredible musicians. And I feel like Red Velvet stans, even though they're one of the big 3 girl groups, they're pretty chill. Genuinely, we're just there for good music. We're not there for to fight with other K-pop stans. So if you find a Red Velvet stan, chances are they're pretty chill.
I think we need to say that we really like this band. Like,
I think
officially.
we should
really
officially-
like.
Yeah,
it.
make
Really
sure
like-
everyone knows that you
I
like
love
this band and that you
K-pop.
love J-Hope from BTS.
I
Yes.
love
I
Red
love
Velvet.
That
yes,
too.
yes.
I've never listened
Dude, there
to
you
any
go.
K-pop before, but I
you like,
absolutely
right?
love all of it.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's Kevin.
I have
That's it.
no biased standards towards K-pop. I promise.
So you have to have a bias in K-pop. You have to have one.
I like all of them more than each other.
Your bias is your favorite
My
person in the
bi-
group. You have to have a bias. You have to have one.
My bias is all of them.
All right, so I
can't
feel
like
like we
BTS
need
and Luna at the same
to
time.
bring the energy down a little bit. Let's see if we can talk to some of the old folks. Alex, if you had to name a song
He has it written down.
that none of your friends want to know that you love, what would that song be?
Well, I always love the song of Richard Marx called Here Waiting. It's a very romantic
Oh, I know the
song.
song. Oh, trust me. I
And it's a
absolutely
very-
know the song.
You know, eye-watering type, so I don't want my friends to know that I love this song and also the lyrics.
So I'm right. I'm quite honestly right there with you. As soon as you say Richard Marx, I'm like, this is gonna be a great deep cut. Right here waiting for you. I love it. Perfect. How about you, Ivo?
Almost every fucking song from the 80s is a guilty pleasure. I mean, if
Why guilty?
well, because they're horrible.
They are. They are objectively bad.
You know,
but they are awesome.
Yeah.
That's what makes that. That's what makes them good. That's
you
what
know,
makes
I
bad movies
actually
good.
like freaking Careless Whisper. by
No,
George
no, no, no.
Michael.
I'm sorry. That's the exception. That's the great song from the 80s.
I love everything about it. The structure, the lyrics, even the fucking saxophone.
The saxophone at the beginning is perfect.
You know, I freaking everybody hates the Last Christmas.
Oh, I love that one.
Last
It's my favorite Christmas song.
I like it. I like it. I admit. And then you guys, you wouldn't believe this, but I actually like. This loneliness is killing me.
And
I must confess, I still believe.
Still believe.
Fucking Britney Spears, man. It is. But you know what? There's an incredible version that cooked up by Dweezil Zappa.
Dweezil and
Dweezil.
Ahmed Zappa's Kiss Me Baby One More Time
Hard rock.
maybe the greatest
Cover.
of all time.
It's a hard rock cover. Frank Zappa's kids made a hard rock cover of Kiss Me, Hit Me Baby One More Time. Kick Me Baby One More Time.
You
and
insist.
yeah, and it is glorious. It is glorious. So there's a lot of those. Most recently, that fucking song, Pain. Da, 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 believer.
Oh, Imagine Dragons?
Imagine fucking Dragons.
Oh my God.
Because you know what? This song
Ouch.
is weirdly like the architecture of the song is very interesting and different.
right.
And I know they're freaking sugary and poppy and whatnot, and but man, this works for me. I don't know why. It's a guilty pleasure. This is the first time I admit affection for this track.
Yeah.
That was actually, I think that was the intro to a TV series.
Not that song, but
A
like
remake
the
of
same
it.
artist,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wait.
What was that show?
Arcane.
Arcane.
Oh, yeah,
Dude, have you
Enemy.
watched Arcane?
Arcane,
We'll
Arcane
talk
was
about this
so
later.
good. It was so good.
I love Arcane.
All right, even I have watched Arcane, and
It was
I'm an old
amazing.
It's a
fan, so yeah.
good show.
No.
The ending
Julie,
was
you were
good
about to
too.
say something, right? As Isa was
I
talking.
was gonna say. So, you jumped up as soon as Ivo said that. You know, what was it? A cover, right?
Uh-huh.
But I just want to point out this is right after you say we need to lower the energy. So I just want to know what happened to that.
Well, Evo happened to mention like two of the greatest 80s songs of all time. I got excited. I apologize.
I'm just saying
It was Evo's
you
fault.
need to follow your own rules before you try to enforce them, buddy.
Dude, I feel chastised.
Do as he
You
says, not as he does.
should. You should.
Okay. All right, Greg. What about you?
Okay, so I would say Mamma Mia would probably be my guilty pleasure. And the reason I say that, I would say basically anything by ABBA.
Uh-huh.
I actually do like ABBA a fair amount.
Right.
But the reason I would say kind of a guilty pleasure is just to give you an example. I went to go see Mamma Mia 2 when it came out in theaters with my mom. It was her birthday. Took her to. I went. It was a packed theater. There were 2 guys in that whole theater, and I knew the other one who was there with his wife for their anniversary.
Nice. I feel like we need to call Chris right now and tell him you're an ABBA fan just to see how far this goes.
ABBA goes too far. Who's the fan of ABBA?
Greg.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
an ABBA fan.
ABBA is good.
Yeah. Watching Mamma Mia in the movie theater here in Lawrence, one of the darkest moments of my life. I'm still trying to recover.
He was the other guy there.
I was freaking trapped in the movie theater with his bullshit.
I feel your pain.
Come on, wasn't Pierce Brosnan great?
Oh my God, that hairy bastard! He can't sing. It's horrible. He's like off key. Everything. Even when he's talking, he's off key. It's horrible.
I agree. No. Let's see, Fernando.
Gosh, like I can't think like one that to be ashamed of. Probably a bunch, but I mean, 80s is like I don't know who is bashing the 80s. Like if I start listening here, like I mean, you're gonna talk 300 song names and bands. Like I mean, everything is fantastic. The 80s it's one of the best decade in music. I mean, you have the post punk, you have like
The
new
Cure.
wave.
The Cure was good.
The Cure always. I mean,
Depeche Mode.
and that was like Depeche Mode.
Duran.
Susie and the Benches, New Order, Erasure.
Well, if you're going to
Prince,
pick all of the great
Michael
parts
Jackson.
of the
What about
80s,
like maybe should I be shameful that I like
Prince and
Chris
Michael
Isaac, that song from the what was
Wicked
the
Game?
movie? Yes,
I mean, yes,
Chris-
you should be ashamed to
Was it
know that
Chris
song
Isaac?
that I had immediate recall for.
yes.
Well, it was a huge hit. But, you know, I associate the 80s with a little bit of the sunsetting of rock music. You know, the big bands, the big mega bands kind of started
Disappeared.
fading away.
Yeah.
And so more poppy, synthesized music came. Good hits, but, you know, you comparing, you know, Kashmir to Kama Chameleon. You know, so
But
I'm sorry.
You have
Yeah.
Ramones, you have like the Talking Heads. I mean,
True.
the 80s are the best, and I mean, and I would name another 20 Brazilian bands from the 80s too, like in Argentinian bands, and damn, like there was a good. I listen like new things too, but like the 80s, I don't know.
Yeah, but Brazil was crazy in the 80s. You guys elected like a porn star as your national leader in the 80s.
Well,
So, Zusha?
Well, that doesn't count. That was a kid show. Okay, like if I had like a single song, I could use that as my shame. But no, I don't. Yeah, she was a good-looking lady, and one of the first Playboy magazines I saw back in the day. I was probably 11 years old.
I
so-
don't give my son
Yeah,
ideas.
that's anyhow. Next.
All right. Let's see. Margaret, do you have a song that you don't want anybody to know you listen to?
Yes. I feel like I'm the authority on this, not to brag, but like in high school, my friends would take the aux away from me because my music taste was very eclectic. The song that is my current obsession right now that is a little iffy to bring up in public settings. You guys were all saying guilty pleasures. That is not where mine went. I heard this song. It kept on my Spotify recommended playlist. It's called Red Flags, and it's kind of a duet, and the main guy is like on this date, and he like this girl, but he's like, oh man, like she likes this movie, and it's like really weird and like kind of off put by it, and like makes up all these reasons like not to date her. But the ending is happy because he's like, oh, like maybe this is just like me putting up my walls, and so maybe it's not that bad. But the movie she likes and like very much extols in the song is The Human Centipede. It's very catchy. The first time I heard the song, I'm like, oh, this is kind of weird, but the beat's really good and like it has some like fun synth. And then I heard it again, I was like, okay, I cannot. Weird. It's like an earworm. Like I just can't stop listening to this song, even though like there's multiple references to the Human Centipede.
Yeah, a famous romantic comedy.
Yeah.
What'd you want, Jules?
Two things. Number one, Ivo, you gotta realize there are so many people that are like, oh my god, I was born in the wrong generation because they love 80s music so much.
Yeah.
And also, well, like 4 things, but
I wish
think
there were
I
more
You
think-
can't have 4 things.
Look, that's an exaggeration. Okay.
Okay, all right.
Calm down.
2 to 4.
Uh-huh.
It's not.
Anyway, what was I gonna say? I think that it was not the sunset of
Rock music.
I think it was the sunset for mainstream rock music, because there is lots and lots of underground stuff that happens, and I would say it's arguably more popular. Most people just don't know about it because it's not mainstream anymore. And also the song you mentioned, it sounds like a Weird Al remix of a song. It sounds like
It's
a Weird
not
Al
a Weird
parody.
Al remix.
I know, it just sounds like a Weird Al parody.
It's
like
not a parody. It's very original.
I know, but like, hear me out. If you the way you described it, it sounds like it would be a Weird Al song.
I fuck with Weird Al.
Yeah.
Like,
if
think about
Go
it.
ahead, Alex.
If I should say something, I believe that 80s was great because everything was still in the analog era. It was not digitalized. There was no auto-tune invented. There was no internet. There was no mobile phones. Barely they started using it. So the people are more connected in the natural way, like talking to each other, and there was really art of the making the music. The music was art. It was not digitalized. It was not made by computers. And most of the music, okay, Depeche Mode, they use, computers
Drum machines
and drum
and
machines.
synthesizers.
It's everything. But, and that's like a golden era of the pop music for me as well. Like back in the days when, we all know the classical music composer. There is nothing like that anymore, right? So it was just the era that, we need to appreciate. Whatever comes, maybe will be better. But since we were young also at this era, I'm talking about myself and Ivo, we really appreciate this music.
I think the 80s gave us Metallica and Guns N' Roses in terms of rock music, and they were huge, and they were kind of a progression for rock music and a transition, a segue towards alternative rock. And and U2. U2 was the biggest band of the 80s, right? Pretty much.
I feel like they were actually more a 90s thing because the biggest band of the 80s, I believe, was. I don't know who the band was.
How can
I'd
you
say
measure that?
probably U2
Queen
and
also.
REM. REM were very popular in the latter part of the 80s.
So I can say with 100% certainty that the most popular artist was Lionel Richie, but I don't know if he was more popular than the bands of the 80s were.
I just want to say, I saw REM Funko Pops at Walmart the other day. If you want one, they're there.
REM
Sweet.
they disbanded too early. Like Michael Stipe, I don't know what happened to him, but he decided to pull the plug as they were really still producing really high quality tracks, and just it was kind of disappointing. But there was a good sound. Really, almost every song was a hit.
Cass, did we get an embarrassing song from you?
No,
What's your embarrassing song?
I don't listen to embarrassing songs.
Okay, that's right.
What about K-pop?
Also, that Red Flag song, like, change the lyrics and it could be a FNAF song. Anyway,
A what?
Five Nights at Freddy's?
Oh,
There's
FNAF. Oh,
music
got
in
it.
FNAF.
I could say so many
FNAF
things about
song.
FNAF right now, but I'm gonna hold myself back. I just
The
want you
movie's
to
coming
know
out anyway.
I have like 7 years of built up FNAF lore in my head.
All right.
So I'm just letting you know.
I am
Nobody mentioned Miley Cyrus, who actually is morphing into an excellent performer.
I agree, dude.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Oh, and we didn't hear mine. So,
Yeah.
like, I have a song that I'm ashamed to say that I like because I actually had people make fun of me the last time I mentioned this song. But I don't think anybody that's able, besides these two at the end, will even have any recollection of this song. T'Pau, Heart and Soul. Do you guys know this song? Yeah, it's a
and Soul?
deep cut from the 80s. Yeah. That was for many years like my favorite song, and people would make fun of me all the time. Greg actually mentioned Britney Spears is toxic, and I have no shame
Yeah.
with my adoration for
It's an
Miss
amazing
Britney
song.
Spears.
Have you heard the Glee cover?
No, I have not.
I'm a big Glee guy. I think the Glee Britney episode.
Gluttony.
Glidney,
No.
yes.
Britney
Britney.
Spears.
I think it's one of the best. I think you should listen to it. I think it's really good.
Yes, Miss
Okay.
Cassie.
Okay, my song is Smoke It Off by Lumi, Athena.
Wow.
It's an amazing song. I love it.
And how did you come across this song?
I don't remember. I think it was just in my recommended.
Likely story.
You know what's really weird is how many actually good songs Madonna had.
Right,
that
Once Upon a Time, yeah.
She just didn't have the voice, but they were really good songs. Like Isla Bonita is a fantastic song. You know, she had quite a lot of really well written
Like a Prayer.
hits. Like a Prayer.
This used to be a playground.
Yeah,
let me
a lot.
once again say,
Like a virgin.
Jane Lynch as Sue Sylvester covering Vogue. Incredible performance.
Vogue was good.
All right, let's move on to next question. All right, so recently, Steven Spielberg said that The Dark Knight should
say
have.
Steven Seagal.
Steven
I
Seagal.
tried to say Steven Seagal.
Did I say
Spielberg.
Steven Seagal?
You actually
No, you
did.
didn't.
Okay, phew. Like I'm reaching that age where it's likely. Steven Spielberg recently said that The Dark Knight should have been nominated for Best Picture. Though it's not a Marvel movie, is this maybe the industry kind of maturing from Scorsese's criticism of Marvel movies a couple years back? What do we think?
I don't know much about what was. Can you explain a little bit more about
Oh,
the
yeah.
criticism?
Sorry.
That-
So back in 2019, somebody asked Martin Scorsese if he had seen any of the Marvel movies, and Scorsese's response was no, because they're not cinema. They're really amusement rides.
Yeah.
And he got a lot of flack from it, primarily from the Marvel, producers and actors and such. But that really kind of split, sort of the Hollywood camps into these are not real movies, and then the folks that are like, no, they really are real movies. And it's been really kind of an underground debate ever since he said it. And so it was interesting, at least to me, that Mr. Spielberg came out and basically said, like, if we were a more honest movie-going critiquing group, we would have nominated Dark Knight for Best Movie, and it would have won. And so, just kind of curious to know if, like, if you think that the Steven Spielberg remark was in response to
Scorsese.
basically the brouhaha that Scorsese encapsulated, or if maybe we're all just getting more used to the idea that superhero movies are just gonna be one of the things that we're gonna deal with for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, it's interesting that Steven Spielberg would say that. I was thinking about this. I just, encountered the topic a little bit a while ago, and I was thinking about Steven Spielberg's very first movie. So I recommend to our listener to go and find Steven Spielberg's first movie that he made as a college student, because it's nothing short of a masterpiece. It's called The Duel, and it features a protagonist and antagonist, and you have a guy that is being pursued by a faceless villain. And it reminded me so much of The Dark Knight, and you have this conflict that's both internal and external, and it has social implications, because really the protagonist is running away from this truck, from this Peterbilt brutal truck that's trying to drive him off the road for no reason whatsoever. But he represents something. The protagonist represents a certain segment of society, and the truck represents another segment of society. I don't want to give too much away, but the editing in this movie is so far ahead of its time. You watch it and you just marvel of the technique of this college student. How the heck did he do that? It's stunning. This editing we see now, in the 21st century, something he did in the 60s.
In the 60s,
And it's shocking, but it also reflected Steven Spielberg's attitude towards movie making, and how you really need a little bit of commentary on the human condition within the story, and a good protagonist and a powerful antagonist. And this is what The Dark Knight is. It's a well-told story. It's very different from one-dimensional comic book stories. It gives you a conflicted guy, a guy that has internal demons, and he's trying to resolve them. and it gives you a very, very powerful villain. And I think it's a great movie, and it's a story as old as Shakespeare. So I feel like it was a really good movie, and I think Steven Spielberg is correct.
So I have two responses to that. The first being, I have not seen The Dark Knight, so I'm going to go off of your interpretation of the movie. But how is that, like, how is what you described The Dark Knight to be any different than, like, Marvel Endgame? And then my second point would be, I like your reference to Shakespeare. I think that's very apt in terms of, like, what quote-unquote real art is, because, pardon my language, but Shakespeare was all, like, dick and sex jokes, really. Like, that is the essence of his work. And it's, like, still rightfully praised as some of the, like, greatest literary canon of all time. But he was by no means saw himself as, like, a very serious playwright. So I just think that's an interesting comparison to bring up.
You know, about, I want to say almost 30 years ago, I went to a lecture by the great American author Kurt Vonnegut. And I was with my wife, who's here, Jamie. And one of the things that he talked about was structure in storytelling. And he said, you know, Shakespeare is unique because he said every story, if you read a book or watch a movie or watch a theatrical play, every story is pretty much the same. It starts at a nice place, then everything goes wrong, and then everything goes back to the nice place. He said this is the trajectory of almost every story. And he said something, pay attention. Kurt Vonnegut said that, not me. He said, pay attention to Shakespeare because he's different. His trajectory is unpredictable. Sometimes it starts in a bad place, gets worse, and then it gets even worse.
Right.
It's Shakespeare and Kafka. You know, it's two guys that you just can't predict where it's gonna go. And he said Shakespeare is a great storyteller, and he said I learned a lot from Shakespeare. But the Dark Knight, you're right. Every story ever told has resemblance to every other story ever told. You know, almost nothing is completely original. Since the moment we crawled out of the primordial soup and developed self-awareness, we started telling pretty much the same story, you know, and to this day, we're still telling that story. So,
Fernando?
I think at the end, like, even from, and I mean, I respect, like, you know, Scorsese's movies and Spielberg, but I think at the end, like, both opinions are very irrelevant. Now it's just a big freaking industry. Marvel is doing a great job, but that doesn't mean that every Marvel movie is great. I enjoy some more than others, but it's not different that, you know, many directors, they make, if it's not a fresh story, they make the movie based on a book, based on another, like, who knows? Now they do even based on video games, and it's just go about the creation, and I think it's nonsense. Like, I don't have much respect for the Academy. Like, after, like, what was that year that they put, like, I think that Smeagol, what it was from Lord of the Rings, the 3D guy, like, he got an Oscar, right? That wasn't a real person. Smeagol, right?
who? What?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the actor's name.
Precious.
I can't think
Oh, yeah.
No,
Okay,
but
at least
it
got
was
nominated
the
for it.
three, not the person by itself, was the fictitious.
Yeah,
It happened, right?
I don't remember this, but you know, there was a long time where I was just drunk all the time.
It's true, and I saw that it was on a K-pop community, and
Smeagol stands BTS. He
Yes.
loves those guys.
I love that.
I also do. Please do not dox me.
I believe that first of all, most of the movies are made for entertainment purposes.
Sure.
I mean, some of the movies, can be a box office just by coincidence, like The Godfather. It was not projected to be a box office when they released the movie. But speaking of The Dark Knight, I believe also there was a movie which Joaquin Phoenix won an Oscar, and it's called The Joker, which was kind of continuation or prequel to the Batman, and it was a great movie. I mean, so it doesn't matter if the movie is based by comics. I think it's the matter what the movie wants to tell you at the end of the at the end of the day, and some of the movies are just blockbusters because they're crazily entertaining, like Top Gun the Maverick, right? Or
Yes.
Avatar. But
Yeah.
when you think about it, even the Star Wars per se, I mean, what is the idea of the Star Wars? Yeah, I mean, you have this philosophy about, dark
Jedi
side and
and-
the good side and stuff. But, it's entertaining. You have to admit it.
I'm gonna actually like buttress what you said and state that Star Wars, especially like Episode 4, the first one of the series, is objectively bad. But I will watch that movie front to back repeatedly because I enjoy it so much. And
The
there's
very first Star Wars?
the very first Star Wars, yeah.
1977?
Like if you watch Mark Hamill's acting, if you watch Carrie Fisher's acting, if you listen to the dialogue, if you watch the editing of the original, like there's
Everything's bad.
Everything's bad. But oh my God, I love that movie.
Right time.
And Top Gun is kind of the same way for me. The original Top Gun, like it's just shy of being objectively bad, but I enjoy the hell out of it. Every time I see Top Gun, I feel the need
For speed.
for speed. So yeah. What are you thinking, Cassie? Oh, I thought you were waving your hand at me. I thought you had something you want to say
About the movie.
Yeah, Julie.
Look, buddy. What defines objectively bad as a movie?
When it has poor dialogue, poor acting.
But
poor
what
script
defines
design.
poor dialogue and poor acting?
Well, it's all subjective, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's my point. So you can't say that the original
I
Star Wars.
poo on you.
I think that you are just mad because I'm
Turn his
pointing
mic
out
off.
plot holes in your argument.
I am.
But the
I'm gonna turn your mic off right now.
this is government silencing.
Yes. Mr. Gray.
Can we get to an objective ever?
I don't know that we
Can we turn
Why
this
is
into a deep philosophical discussion?
You know what? We've only been going 40 minutes on the first two questions. So yeah, let's go ahead. And
I love it.
I didn't even go.
No, it's a great No, this is great. This is great. I tell you what, our listener is gonna listen to this podcast, and first question, he or she is going to think hard about their guilty pleasure song. And I know it. I know it's gonna happen.
They're gonna
And
think hard about
secondly-
Breaking Bad. 'Cause
Yeah, Breaking Bad.
That was most of the time.
Yeah, exactly. Breaking Bad as well. They're gonna go and watch Breaking Bad, and now they're gonna watch all these movies and try to figure out what's objective and subjective. It's fantastic.
Can join a
Um,
big K-pop cult.
Can I actually go this time?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I was gonna say that I think, if people are gonna call superhero movies, or Marvel, whatever, DC, they're gonna be like, that's not a movie. That's a ride. Then what qualifies a movie? Because there's this one movie called RRR that got super duper popular,
Yeah.
and it's a lot crazier than Marvel. Does that count as a movie, or like, why do we feel the need to set down this isn't a movie and this is, when it's all just, long films about whatever? Does it, like, why do we have to have a set of rules to what makes a movie? There can be none of this and this and this. And so
I agree, Bubba.
I personally did not watch that Batman movie, but I feel like if it was that good, you didn't want me to.
Oh,
I'm just
because
gonna be
you were
You didn't want me to.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's
that's
your
true.
fault.
It-
So
it
I should be
probably
I should be gasping at you.
You
I
should.
should be
You should.
You didn't let me watch it.
Go ahead, Cass.
Okay, so my objective is that the industry can do whatever it puts its mind to. Also, Marvel is amazing, and I've never seen Star Wars, and I never plan on seeing Star Wars. Also, I was invited to watch The Dark Knight as a date, but the person was really ugly, so I said no, so I've never seen it.
You better hope that's not our listener. You better
Yeah,
pray.
if you cost us our sorry, Julie, I didn't realize you weren't done. Go ahead.
I wasn't done.
All right.
But I was gonna say, even though I didn't watch it, if it was that good to where people are like asking if this is an example of people going, "It's like Scoob, are you sure we aren't just we aren't moving out of the era where people are judging a movie based on what's the contents of it?" Then I think it could have probably gotten it.
Good deal. Good deal. Sophia.
Just to close out, I just want to say I could give less of a shit about this question, but I do think that objectively, the best Batman movie is the Lego
I
Batman
agree.
movie starring Will Arnett.
I
All
agree.
I cannot
Well,
deny.
okay.
I
I'm gonna
can-
go just one step further and say I don't care about this question either, and I hate whoever wrote it and who forced me to answer
Who
it.
wrote that?
Let's calm down now.
Take a
All right.
chill
Calm
there,
down.
Buckaroo.
We're gonna bring this mood down just a little bit more now.
As long as you don't jump out of your seat again, I'll be fine.
All right, that's fair. Fair. All right, Julian, if you had the almighty power to bring back any TV show,
Gravity Falls.
Stop saying it! I love Gravity. I was gonna say you stole my answer.
I beat you
He
to
stole
it. I beat you to it.
everyone's.
Favorite show. It's my favorite show.
I don't know if Scorsese would agree with that.
I'm telling you, I don't care how the characters, the actors. I want it back. Give it back to us.
It ended really well, and I'm glad they didn't do the whole long drawn out thing of jumping the shark and like just keeping the show up to keep the show up. Like I think it ended the way and at the time it was supposed to. That being said, I do really miss it. And if they could bring it back in a genuine way, Alex Hirsch, make it happen.
He is so talented. I know he can do it. I know it.
He voices like 2 of the characters, doesn't he?
Yeah, Susan and Grunkle Stan.
Yeah.
all right.
Anyway.
So just taking a poll of the over 40 crowd. You guys ever watch Gravity Falls?
Yes.
Okay, I got.
Wait,
you.
I have a better one. If you haven't watched Gravity Falls, raise your hand.
Oh, you asked if you never? What?
Yeah, I said if you've never
If
watched
you've
Gravity
never
Falls.
watched
No.
Gravity
I
Falls,
did
wait, okay, so yeah.
So yeah, everybody's watched it.
All right.
Okay,
There you
good.
go.
Acceptable behavior.
All right. How about you, Greg? If you could bring back a show,
Firefly.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
That one, I mean, they just kind of cut it off too. That one wasn't one where they came to a reasonable conclusion. They made a really bad movie, I think, and called it good.
What
Yeah,
movie?
yeah.
There is no movie made.
Yeah, there was.
No, we
No,
don't,
no, no.
We don't talk about Serenity.
Ah.
Mr. Ivanov.
Yeah, Firefly is a good one. I know Greg stole your answer. 100%. I know he did that. Because you actually, before you came, Greg, he actually mentioned Firefly. Believe it or not, which is obviously means that it was on his mind. With me, I was disappointed with X-Files, which was a giant show in the 90s, and it just didn't end. It ended. It was an open-end, weird. They also did a movie like Serenity that didn't make sense at all, and yeah, they just extended it too much. I also think that Breaking Bad did not end the right way. I did not like the ending.
Can I inquire about that? Like
Huh?
why? Like why you didn't like it?
So because I write in my head all the time. So I had a writing in my head that I had written, and to me, the ending was different. I imagined Mr. Walter White making it, kind of, but no. My ending was Mr. Walter White in Santiago, Chile, teaching 8th grade organic chemistry to kids in a high school in Chile.
And just to avoid spoilers.
And that would have been a perfect ending for me.
Gotcha.
And just to
Or
avoid
in Medellin,
spoilers.
Colombia.
Yeah.
And just to
or in
avoid
Colombia.
spoilers, you didn't want what the other thing happened because we're not gonna spoil it. We don't.
I don't want to spoil it
I've
for
never
you.
seen Baking Bad.
Jesse, we need to cook.
Baking
Jesse,
Bad.
we need to cook brownies.
That's a whole different show.
Yeah, that's a different show. Baking Bad.
Jesse, we
gonna say,
need
that
to
would-
use the
that-
easy bake oven.
That ending would be too similar to like something like Dexter, though. Where it was just
Yeah.
kind of, and then
That-
he's just poof somewhere else.
But
Yeah.
Dexter got extended and it
Oh,
ended
did it?
tragically.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
they did.
You should watch the.
I didn't even know about
Yeah,
that.
you should watch the.
Don't
It
waste
was
your
a
time.
fantastic new season, and
Completely
it
disagree.
ended with Shakespearean tragedy. Yeah, but yeah, it was a good. I liked it. The last season that they came up with last year, it was really good. The acting was spectacular. The writing was great, but the ending, it was not him sailing into the sunset on a yacht in Miami.
Yeah. I that was one of the shows that I feel like, generally you watch a few seasons and you have an idea of it. And yeah, some shows it's like, yeah, the 3rd or 4th season wasn't very good. Dexter was all over the place in my opinion. It was like season 1, 2, 3, amazing. Season
Yeah.
4, terrible.
Yeah.
Season 5, really good again. Like you just never
Yeah.
quite knew
Yes,
with what
I
season.
think season 4 was written by Alexa. It was pretty bad.
Margaret, do you have a show you would bring back?
I do, actually. It is a recently canceled show called Westworld. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it.
Yeah, it's over.
So Greg and I watched the first 4 seasons. I maintain that the first season of that show is one of the best seasons of any television show ever. And then second season was still good, not as good. Third season, I don't know what happened there. They were trying their best. And then, there was one more season that I think after the third season that was a little bit better. And then the way it ended, it ended that if that was the end of the show, it could have been like a very ambiguous and interpretable ending, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but they did clearly set it up for a 5th season, and then the show got canceled. So it's fine the way the show ended now, but it would have been nice to see a redemption arc for some of the characters and to see everything get tied up a little bit nicer, in my opinion.
There's a pattern, because with writers you can see a pattern easily. So the person that wrote Westworld introduced too many characters. It got very convoluted.
Yeah.
There were plots and subplots and subplots.
It's so hard to follow.
And so at some point you didn't know who is a cyborg, who is a human being, and it got so freaking confusing. The timelines also intertwined. And so
awesome.
I watched this and I was very disappointed because the beginning was so promising. And then I watched Peripheral, written by the same guy.
Oh.
And it was the same fucking thing. It was the same thing. And so at some point, Jamie and I, we recognized the pattern and we said we're gonna stop watching it because we know where it's going. The too many characters, the timelines intertwining, and the confusion. So we just gave up on it.
I feel
Good.
like
Keep going.
I feel like the multiple characters in the timeline. I'll say one more thing on this.
love it.
The timeline, like intertwining, it is a useful tool up to a point. I think they just overdid it at certain
Exactly.
point. It was like interesting. Okay, this is way too much. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Julie, are you back?
Okay, so one remark about that show. I feel like, so it got canceled, right? They didn't finish it. It just got
It
canceled.
got canceled. They took it off.
So
of
I
HBO.
think the reason that they had all the timelines intersect is because they were gonna wait till like the next season or have it go on for a little bit longer and then have all of them at the exact same point and do something like
But they
very big.
They resolved all of the timelines in like the 3rd or 4th season. It was just like the 2nd season that was still a little. Wibbly-wobbly.
But also there was one other show because I stole everybody else's answer. I gotta one from my own, and it actually did get brought back. But I just wanted to mention it. It's called Hunter x Hunter. And it was
Get me started.
it was gone like and the new one was gone for like 5 years, but apparently they're making a new season and
He's on hiatus again, though.
yeah.
Are they
So
making
it's gonna be
new?
wild.
Yeah, they're making another season to it.
So please,
You introduced me to that show. That is
Sophia's
a
would be a
phenomenal
next.
show.
It is.
Yeah. I don't know that I've
Sophia,
gotten
please.
one from you yet.
You have
Sophia.
not, because I've been,
Sophia.
since I got the email, I was like, I'm gonna talk about Gravity Falls. Took it,
Good.
and now I kind of have 2 answers, but I'm not really passionate about either of them for a different reason. So the first one is just because it's a show that I kind of forgot about and remembered that I loved. I don't know if any of you guys ever watched Crash and Bernstein on Disney XD. That was my favorite show when I was. It's this stupid little puppet named Crash, and he's purple and he's crazy. He just fucks shit up, and it's so funny.
I remember there was an episode where the guy he grabs him like a gun and he starts throwing like gumballs at people and he's going bah bah bah.
It's crazy. It's so good, and I really miss it. I was just reminded of it the other day. My other answer, and I don't, because I don't wish that it would come back. Like, I wish that they would just make the first couple seasons again, and that's Community, because I fucking love that show, and it just got so bad so fast.
buddy.
And
No cursing.
boy,
Yeah, language.
my fault.
Just say
My
fiddle.
fault.
It is your fault.
My fiddlesticks. So, but no, I really love Community. It has a very special place in my heart. I remember, when I watched the episode that where Troy left, I was like sobbing so hard. It was really bad because I was like, oh no, this is not worth it anymore. Like, everything just went downhill. It was not good. But I really wish that those first couple seasons, like at that level, I wish we could get more of that content.
Miss Cassidy.
Okay, so I also was gonna say Gravity Falls, but
Easy
besides
answer.
that, like, there's this one show that I absolutely love, and it went on for so long. There were like a bunch of different things of it, like Steven Universe. I don't want like another season like in the future. I want an explanation of like how everything came to be.
like a prequel to the future.
Exactly.
So the present.
No. I want to know what happened in the past, like where the diamonds came from, all of that. Also, there was this one show I watched. It was called The Good Place, right? And it was like I binge watched the first 3 seasons in 3 days, right? And it was so good. And then in the 4th season, I just became so uninterested. And
Same
I was
here.
like on my phone on the ending because I wasn't even paying full attention.
I'm 100% behind you on The Good Place. Like, I loved it, especially like the first 2 seasons, especially just brilliant. 3rd season, and then 4th season, I just couldn't even do it. So I've not finished it. So, Mr. Alex.
Well, I would like The Sopranos, to be honest, and I was
weird.
kind of I was kind of kind of hoping that they're gonna do something like The Matrix, like some resurrection of the guy, but so far nothing on the horizon.
Get killed.
And
They never said. They didn't. They would have to do a Matrix thing.
yes,
Yeah.
but it was the show that kind of hooked
But
me
the
up.
actor died.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately,
What-
James Gandolfini.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but was that the one that ended in like there was
Dark
just
skin.
rising tension,
Yes.
had a bunch of people who were like, "What happened to my TV?
Yeah,
like, what's
yeah,
wrong?
exactly.
Like, oh no! Like,
Dark-
they
Fade
were
to
having
Black.
technical issues.
Fade
Okay,
to
yeah,
Black.
That's what I thought.
It
Yeah,
sucked.
exactly,
It was
exactly.
horrible.
And
Yeah.
also, I kind of enjoy 2.5 Men when Charlie Sheen was playing in the series, just because I think he played himself basically.
Right.
And
Right.
it was really very entertaining for me. It was just kind of a fresh air. Watching like 40 minutes episodes is just really refreshing me.
Fernando, I haven't got one from you.
Gotta be the Simpsons.
Really?
They're gonna
Wait, they're still
Go
going.
for long enough. Yeah.
They haven't canceled those.
You've
They-
extended them by another
Gosh,
300
like,
years.
I was ready to say Gravity Falls. The Wire.
The Wire. Good one.
Let's go classic.
All right. I gotta ask. Has anybody here watched Raised by Wolves?
Yeah, that
The
was
single most
I've seen-
fucked up shows.
I've
So
seen
good.
I've seen
Okay.
people
in the
cover it.
entire
I have not
history
seen
of
it.
HBO.
Is that over or not?
It's over. They're not.
Oh, that
Oh,
was
they're
it.
not doing it?
They are not doing anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
That
was
would
so
be
into that.
in
That's
addition.
Ridley
to,
Scott.
It
It
is.
was stunning.
Oh, trust me. If you guys are in the mood for
Some
what made me
psychedelic
think about it is you talking about Westworld.
That's-
Westworld was like a mind tickle. This is a full-on mind fuck.
And there's a lot of biblical references. If you think about it, Lou, you'll see so many biblical references with the tree, especially at the end. And it was a incredible philosophical show, but very violent,
And
just
good-
like Ridley Scott.
Good cast. It blew my mind that they got that guy that was the Viking. Like he
Oh.
always freaks me out. His eyes.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, there's like I don't even know how to describe the show to you. It's just
It's science fiction.
fucked up.
Just-
yeah.
What
I'm
is it?
in,
Does it
sold.
stream on something?
It's on HBO.
HBO.
Yeah.
All the best stuff is on
HBO
HBO.
Max, yeah.
If it's a good show, it's on HBO.
It's science fiction. And it's mind blowing. You're right.
Yeah. All right.
Wait.
Oh, sorry, Julie. You had one more.
That's right.
comment.
You're trying to
Yes.
skip me again.
Well,
Don't let it happen again.
All right, I'll try.
But I was just gonna say, I think the only way The Simpsons is ever gonna end is if that one girl who voices, like, not kidding, half the cast dies. She voices, like, off the top of my head, it's Bart, Nelson, Maggie, the Rod and Todd, and that's just what I know. That's already 5 of the main characters out of the way. And she voices like I'm not kidding, half the cast.
I erased that show from my mind since I spend big money HBO and stuff. I'm done with any show from mainstream.
All right, we are coming up on an hour, so I'm gonna drop our 4th question and go right to the moneymaker. What is the better TikTok time-wasting video? Woodworking videos or cooking videos? Julian.
Okay, so there is two sides of this. There is, I think that in general it's cooking, but if you were in that mood, then it's woodworking. Because if you're just bored randomly through the day, you just look at, I don't know, Cooking with Linja, and then you sit down and enjoy it for a while.
I just need a choice, dude.
And then, but wait, listen, you wait for it.
Coming up on an hour apart.
Look, listen.
I just need an answer.
Listen. But if you're at that time of day where you're barely awake and you just want to be awake, you watch wood cutting videos because they're so confusing.
All right, fair enough. Mr. Greg.
What's TikTok?
I think it's an onomatopoeia.
No,
What's
it's a
an
palindrome.
All right.
It's like bam.
Sophia, what are your thoughts?
My first thought is that you spelled TikTok wrong, which is
Yeah, I saw
hard
it
to
too.
do.
Wow.
There was a
It's-
like,
see, turn to
So
the
I will be 100% honest and say with 100% certainty I was thinking of Tic Tacs when
I know that's what I was.
Or Kit Kat.
It's spelled like Tic Tac. Anyways, I don't watch a lot of. I save a bunch of cooking videos that are like in like air fryers, like small spaces for when I go to college, but I never look at them again. I don't watch a whole lot of woodworking, but there is this one woman who like chops wood, and she's very enjoyable to watch.
I don't feel like you're watching that for the woodworking part.
No.
Yeah.
She's very attractive. But no.
All right. So I'm going to count that as woodworking.
Yeah, woodworking.
All right. Okay. So, Greg, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I mean, seriously, I don't have TikTok. I don't have an opinion on it.
All right, Margaret.
No, from what Margaret shows me,
Uh-huh.
granted, I think she's a little biased in one direction here. Some of that food looks real good. I like good food.
So, would you second his?
I would second it in that I think cooking videos are my favorite, but I am going to go off of what Sofia said in that I do enjoy the occasional woodworking video that comes up on my feed, and it's not for the
All right, Cassidy.
I would say woodworking videos, but also another one is just like Breaking Bad edits and FNAF edits. I've never seen Breaking Bad, and I
I thought you were gonna say like soap cutting or something.
I know FNAF, but like I don't know Breaking Bad, but I still love. I've never seen a bad Breaking Bad edit, like ever.
Mr. Alex.
I'm not a big fan of TikTok, to be honest, but if I have to choose, definitely cooking will be something that I will be interested.
Gotcha. It's amazing how many people are getting this question wrong. You've already had your chance.
No, I want to clarify.
All right.
You should just put mine down as cooking.
All right.
Because I enjoy cooking more.
It's amazing how many people are getting this question wrong. All right, Fernando.
none. I don't use.
I
Follow
don't
your
believe
heart.
you. There's enough soft porn that everybody uses TikTok.
Woodworking.
Okay.
And it's free too, right?
Mr. Ivo.
Yeah, I mean, already Fernando mentioned morning woodworking. but it's a false dichotomy because there's a new genre called cooking wood. so I think that's my choice, integrating the two. False dichotomy, great name for a rock band.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we have come to the end of this week's episode. I want to first of all, thank all you guys for coming in. Second, I want to ask Ivo if we have any sponsors.
It's up to Susan, I don't know.
All right.
You know. Gotta see if Susan sent us anything. Let me see here. Susan from marketing, by the way. You know about Susan from marketing, Margaret?
I have to admit, I am not familiar with her.
We have a marketing department, a vast marketing department with lots of resources that
Also Susan.
is headed by Susan, kind of a enigmatic figure. Nobody has ever seen her. We don't pay her, and yet she's employed by us.
You mean
You
we
know?
definitely pay her?
So we don't pay her and she doesn't do any work. Is that-
Yes.
She doesn't do her taxes, okay? It's deserved.
But yeah, we are mystified by Susan, and we are also kind of shackled by her. We can't escape her. You know, she keeps sending us shit, keeps sending us content. And so again, once again, and we are always seem to be it seems to be cash strapped, so we always end up with very primitive delivery options for our content. So well, it looks like today the copy was delivered by a wounded Roman legionnaire. We get it delivered by pigeons and, a bottle, a message in a bottle in the
Smoke
ocean.
signal, yeah.
But not by a wounded Roman legionnaire.
Mm-hmm.
And it was recorded, the message was recorded actually, on a contraption. Seems like our marketing department stole from the Smithsonian. It's called Edison's phonograph. So I guess we'll listen to the message. Whoa! That has disaster written all over this, because apparently it seems like we're sponsored today by someone called Barth.
Barth.
I've never heard of Barth. But he's also known as the Walmart guy. Apparently he's the biggest Walmart fan in existence.
Oh, no.
So we're gonna listen to this, I guess. We don't have a choice. So let me click on the Edison's phonograph.
Click.
Play the recording. Please, you click it.
Click.
Howdy, yo! It's me, Barth. I ain't gonna sponsor you, you bum sniffers. I ain't got no money. I'm so poor I can't even pay attention. This is already bad. They call me Walmart guy, 'cause I, Barth, am the most loyal Walmart customer. I've been shopping at Walmart since before you were born. Hell, I've been shopping at Walmart since before I was born. Don't ask me how I done it. Ask my sweet mama. Yeah, Walmart is an American institution. It has everything. It's a store. It's a supermarket. It's a restaurant. It's a rat magnet. It's an amusement park. It's a carnival freak show. And when I'm in it, after eating Mexican, the toilet is a mesmerizing crime scene. Ooh, in the sights, in the sounds, in the smells. Oh, you can see, smell, and hear such wonders at Walmart. Where else can you see a 300-pound grandma wearing nothing but some horseradish? Where else can you see two truck drivers French kissing while dressed like Teletubbies? Where else can you see a 5-year-old running and pooping at the same time while his parents are taking pictures? Where? Nowhere else, that's where. Yeah, Walmart represents the most cherished American values. Oh, how I love me some Walmart. Oh, how I love the sweet smell of urine on aisle 5.
Sweet.
You can find anything your heart desires at this excrement-drenched temple of consumerism. It is important for our economy to buy shit at Walmart. And by buying shit, I mean buying shit. Everything I own, I bought at Walmart. See these jeans? Got them for $7.50. I think they're made out of blue cardboard. In fact, you don't have to wipe your butt after pooping. These jeans wipe it for you. Convenient, ain't it? I got me a beautiful star-spangled banner at Walmart that was handmade by an 8-year-old Chinese artisan. I got it for a discount because it's got 49 stars. Well, whoop-de-doo. Who needs California anyway? What say you, Louis? You think the missing star is Texas? You messing with Barth, aren't you, Louis? Well, that just dills my pickle.
You know what? I think I saw you, Louis, parking at Target. Target? Are you some kind of camembert eating Frenchie? Louis, the lawyer, a Walmart destroyer. And Fernando, shopping at Kohl's. Kohl's! Well, butter my butt and call me a biscuit. Shopping at Kohl's. Who are you, Fernando? Hillary Clinton? I wouldn't even go to Kohl's to see Jesus riding a unicycle. And Cassidy, her mom managing a Five Below. How dare you! Five Below is like a clean Walmart. And without the people of Walmart. What's the point in that? Those people should be cherished. They're our biggest resource. You're ruining America, you podcasting assholes. I reckon you've forgotten what makes us American. It's Walmart, NASCAR, and McDonald's. And you're stealing our values, you cocky-wearing assholes. You're jealous of Walmart is what it is. You're jealous of me, Barth, too. Everybody's jealous of Barth, like that fucker, Garth Brooks. He stole my name and just reversed it. My full name is Barth Grooks. And he stole my song. I could have made millions. Yeah, that's right. You know the one. I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. And I'll be okay. Stop! No! It's wrong! I wrote that first and that fucker stole it. This is how it really goes. I don't wear no pants in public places and I laugh out loud when security chases my ass away. They say it's not okay, but I got crabs in low places cause my girlfriend and I haven't showered in ages, so I got crabs in low places. I guzzle Big Mac, stuff my face like a pelican. I don't go to Target cause that's just un-American. I watch porn all day, mostly straight plus some gay. I got me some pants with skid mark traces. They help me blend at the NASCAR races. It's a nice bouquet of some shit decay. My kids make weird, crooked faces. They might scare their friends, but I ain't paying for braces. So I got some crabs in low places, cause my girlfriend and I haven't showered in ages. So I got crabs in low places. Thank you, Barth.
Thanks, Bart. Hooray!
Holy shit, that was horrible.
Awesome. Again, thank you guys for coming, and you guys have made it through another Wednesday night undressed.
I won't let it happen again.
Yay!
Yeah!
I just want to say my social studies teacher watches this podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's got crabs in low places.